Hi, and welcome to episode 25 of the Wibbly Wobbly Geeky Weekly podcast. I almost forgot the name of my own show. I'm Joe.
Yours.
Yeah, mine. You just tag along. And the guy who's potting over there is Dave. Say hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
No, he knows I'm only screwing with him. He knows damn well it's our show. So what's going on, dude?
Well, I've had an interesting week, with appliance breaking, and I got electrocuted yesterday, and I'm pissed off about it because I'm still not the Flash.
Well, that's because there was no hard water involved.
Well, I was trying to, it was while trying to fix the dryer.
Yeah, well, hard water is one way, electricity is the other way. But the thing is if you're going to get electrocuted, you have to have all the chemicals around, too. That's what they got wrong in the Flashpoint paradox. That's why he got burned so badly. It wasn't just electricity, it was all of the chemicals that were around him. Remember?
Yes, he had the chemicals both times.
Did he have them the first time?
Yep, it just didn't take the first time.
Damn, that means I just have to go back and watch the movie again because I don't remember shit for having to do that. I feel so bad. In case you
Uh,
can catch that's called sarcasm. So,
that was my Sheldon laugh.
yeah, I noticed. Um, yeah, for me, I've just been putting in a couple of applications. I'm looking for a second job, or possibly a full time job where I might be able to do something crazy like have a weekend off, and instead of
Mm.
get a day here, or possibly 3 days now, and then now next week it'll be 2 days, and this week it's 4 days. Pick one. So, other than that, it's thankfully been very quiet. I have decided not to continue getting ill off and on like I have in the last couple of weeks.
You keep playing with a six stick, you're gonna get, you know.
Yeah, I took the batteries out, so now I can play with it all I want.
Ugh.
Ugh.
That just came out
Yeah,
really
yeah, it
wrong.
did. Yeah, it did. That's okay. That's not as quite as me telling somebody's mother the other night that I'd help her with her balls at the bowling alley. 65-year-old woman just looks at me. She goes, "What?" Her husband just started laughing. So I should rephrase that. Her husband said, "No, no, that was great. Leave it alone." I like the customers at the bowling alley most of the time. So,
Ugh.
since it is so late, we've got some news to cover, and we've got a couple of award shows to cover. So, actually, it gives us quite a bit this week, surprisingly. Why don't
Yeah.
uh, Why don't you go ahead and start with the sad news of the week?
Oh joy! I get the depressing news.
Yes.
Um, Gilbert Taylor, cinematographer for such films as Star Wars. Okay, I'm just gonna say Star Wars because I really don't know much about anything else he did. Uh, he was a
Well, you don't,
cinematographer.
but other people might.
Yes,
What was his last name? Gilbert
Taylor,
Taylor. Thank you.
Tayler. He was the cinematographer for the Star Wars movie, and he had recently died about a week ago. Actually, a little more than that, August 23rd. Um, and he's survived by his wife. Um, says he went into the British film industry when he was a teenager against the better judgment of his father. His father didn't want him to do that.
Oh yeah, and he's got a very extensive list here.
Um, but yeah, he was the one person responsible for lighting and camera placements, in the Star Wars films. So he had a major job in that.
Oh yeah, he also worked on one of my all-time favorite movies, which is Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Um,
You just can't get rid of a bomb.
The Omen. He worked on the original television series, The Avengers. And these are not in any particular order. 1971's Macbeth. He also worked on Damien Omen 2, Escape to Athena, Flash Gordon in 1980.
Oh yeah, I
You were going
forgot
to leave
about
that
that.
out?
And I just,
Ugh.
I just heard, this because
Slap your hand
I
because I'm not
found
there
out
to
about
do
it by
it.
listening to Hollywood Babylon. That's where I get some of my information. Yes.
Uh, you just, you fail. Fail.
What?
You mentioned Star Wars, which is good, but you left out Flash Gordon. You
Ah!
fail.
The best part of that film is where he's chained to the wall, and on the wall behind him, their hands are like this, and on the wall behind him it says "Remember Flash." I'm like, who the fuck wrote that on the wall?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, by by the way, before we get too deep into the show, see this? This is my snack. It's almost 11:30 at night. See the chips and the cheese. It's almost 11:30 at night. I had dinner at quarter of five, and we were expecting to have been recording what 2.5, 3 hours ago.
He had the early bird special.
So at Denny's, yes, actually I did. Um, so if you periodically see me take a chip or something, you'll forgive me. Don't worry, I'll mute the mic so you don't hear nom nom. So
That's not the only reason he goes home. Nom nom nom.
anyway, yeah, considering uh 99 years old, to quote Kevin Smith, big bucket of wind.
Okay,
Big bucket
first
of
of all,
wind, not big bucket of wind. Wind.
okay, we can't be stealing other podcasters, especially
It's
people
not
with lots
stealing
of
if you.
money.
I'm not stealing. I'm using it as an homage.
Yeah,
Shut up and go with it. Anyway, you said there was
sure
one
the
more.
lawyers will say that.
You said there was one more death this week.
Um, yeah, but you said what's
Oh yeah, no,
significant?
it was about a kid who or somebody who, when he was 10 years old, supposedly
His
held
father.
pieces of the UFO. Yeah. Okay.
We've all heard of the Roswell crash, 1947.
Yeah.
This kid, his father had brought home debris, from the crash site. Um, he recently died. See, I got rid of the story, and you brought it up, and so now I don't know his name.
Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. It was just bring it up. Say, hey, somebody thought they held a piece of UFO. It was probably a rock. There's your story.
I can't,
I
I can't work like this. I'll be
it's,
in my trailer.
thank God. Sadly, he passed away. I'm sorry. Anyway, on to other news.
Come on, that's geek news, man. Roswell, New Mexico. That is geek news. That's like, yeah, you're no fucking fun. You know that.
Well, everybody pretty much knows at this point Area 51 is a pile of crap. Literally.
That's why everything was taken to Area 52. That's where they got the Daleks. Remember, that's where they took.
Exactly.
That's where they took Bugs Bunny.
Nobody will listen to me. I tell them they actually shot in Area 52. Nobody freaking believes me. So
I can watch the second Looney Tunes movie.
I suddenly want to go back and watch it myself. I'm going to go into my own sad news. Not a death or anything, but retirement. This comes from comicbookmovie.com. Legendary director Hayao Miyazaki retires from making feature films. Um, 74 years old. God damn it, the guy has earned it. But it's sad to see him leave. What?
Nothing.
You look like you're trying not to laugh. Go ahead.
Nothing.
Oh,
You gonna list off some of his exploits?
oh actually, there's quite a few of them that you would have heard of. He's actually got an Academy Award under his belt for directing one of the best animated features. His last film is going to be premiering in competition at the Venice Film Festival. That is called The Wind Rises, and you can find the trailer right now. It is in Japanese because, hey, Japanese filmmaker. Where's it coming out first? Um, just about all of these films are released through Disney. If they're not released through Disney, they are still available on either DVD or VHS or Blu-ray. However, you can find them. They're all available over here. So, as is the Wind Rises quickly is evidently has been a smash in Japan. It's been number one for 7 weeks straight. So it's basically beating the holy crap out of everything that's out over there.
You said these movies, but you haven't listed anything really.
Well, I'm
yet.
listing. I'm listing it right now. We're going to be going from 1979 to, well, we don't need to read the last one. Excuse me. But Hayao Miyazaki's acclaimed filmography. Excuse me. For those of you that are Lupin the Third fans, most people know about this one. The Castle of Cagliostro. I think I've shown that one to you, Dave.
No.
No? You know what? You
I
can
know. I only know of one of the films on the list.
Okay, well, Castle of Cagliostro, you can actually go to YouTube, and when we're done tonight, you can go to YouTube and watch the movie. As far as I know, it's still up there. It is legal and it is free. And it's just a fun movie. There's also Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, or as some people might remember it, when it was first released over here back in the 80s, it was known as Warriors of the Wind. That was the first one I ever saw, and I saw the edited version on HBO. Then we have Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, Porco Rosso, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. I know exactly what Dave's going to do after this next one. Ponyo.
Ham!
And if you've seen The Nostalgia Critic, you know what that's about. And as I mentioned, his final film is The Wind Rises.
There's a lot of wind in those titles.
Well, a lot of his films have a lot to do with environmental messages.
Elemental.
No, environmental. They tend to be about pollution, what we can do to stop it, or what's caused a lot of this stuff.
Then he should go out on
But
doing Captain Planet.
almost all of these, if not all of them, have been produced through Ghibli films. And so most of these have, if not all of these, have been released through Disney at some point. So they all, with the exception of The Wind Rises, has an American voice cast. If you're not familiar with any of these, I would definitely suggest checking a couple of them out. Especially, as I said, if you're a fan of Lupin the Third in any way, shape, or form, check out The Castle of Cagliostro. It's an awesome film. Now obviously you know about Ponyo. Do you know of any of these films, Dave? Have you heard of any of them or seen them?
Not really. No.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I was a sheltered geek.
You never saw Spirited Away. The damn thing won Academy Award for Best Animated Film in 2009.
I've heard about it.
You never saw Princess Mononoke?
You know who I grew up with?
Yes, I also know some of the films you grew up watching when your father wasn't paying attention, so I don't buy that one bit.
Yeah, but those were all porn.
Jason was porn, huh? Friday the 13th? That's porn?
I didn't see that till I was, older. I never got to see any of these. I was a sheltered geek.
Go out and find. Let's see, which ones would you enjoy? You would enjoy. Well, again, you'd enjoy Castle of Cagliostro, and I think you would like Princess Mononoke. Those are definitely ones that you'd like. They're not very kid friendly. They're basically one is PG, one is PG-13. They're not aimed at the kids. They were technically released through Disney, but they were released through the Miramax line when Disney owned it. So
So kind of like watching Pirates of the Caribbean.
God no, they're better. And I mean the animated films are better, not you know what I mean. But congratulations to Mr. Miyazaki. I hope you enjoy your well-deserved retirement. And hopefully, when your son takes over, he is capable of making movies that are half as good as yours were. Because after Earthsea, I'm a little worried. But anyway, if you've got another story, please feel free to jump in with it.
All right. Uh, HBO to bring the cult classic film Westworld to TV from J.J. Abrams and Jonathan Nolan. Now, this was a film back in 1973. Pretty sure you've seen it. It's one of my mom's favorite movies, believe it or not, about a theme park that's built with three different, sections. You got medieval world, you've got Roman world, and you've got West world. And all the characters in it are robots where you can live out your fantasies. It's Fantasy Island with robots.
That's exactly what it is.
But
until
the original starred Yul Brynner as the evil cowboy robots. But they want to make this into an actual series on HBO, which means it'll probably go the way of, Battlestar Galactica, the remake of the old show.
Yeah.
And what it's saying here is, considering the adult themes present in Westworld, which weren't all that much, there weren't really that many adult themes in the movie.
Well, adult for the time.
If you read the book, though.
Right, and I think that's what they're going by. They're going more by the book than the...
But the article which I got off of Den of Geek is looking forward to TV's ultra-violence and gratuitous nudity that's now been associated with most TV shows that are on the upper cable networks.
And, what... my thoughts is that I don't think this is such a hot idea, to be honest with you. They've already tried a sequel, and they've already tried a television show once.
Okay, Future World wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that good either. I've seen a lot worse. Don't get me wrong. It was enjoyable for what it was. It could have been a whole hell of a lot better. And I admit the dream sequence with Yul Brynner, where they actually got him to come back to reprise his role, was pretty damned interesting. But other than that, it was okay. And I don't know if you've ever seen the pilot for the TV show or not.
No.
I have absolutely no idea where the hell they were planning on taking that, but people just looked at about 5 minutes of that episode when it aired and went, no. And basically changed the channel. It never got past one episode, I don't think.
Well, it's kind of like that show I started watching a few months ago. NBC had started running a show called Do No Harm. Basically, it was a modern take on Jekyll and Hyde. You've got a doctor, not named Jekyll or Hyde.
Oh yeah, no, it was its own thing.
He's got the split personality thing. Mm-hmm. He's got they explain it away with a tumor in his head. But after 2 episodes, they canceled it.
Well, the first episode, the ratings were okay. If you break it down by the hour, they dropped rapidly over the course of the hour. In the second episode, it didn't get anywhere near.
Here's the thing: it was running up on Thursday night it had CBS and ABC's comedy lineup on Thursdays,
right?
Which was crushing it.
Exactly.
It had bad placement.
Exactly. I don't necessarily think it's the show's fault. I never got a chance to watch it, so I don't
Well,
know.
you actually got a chance now. They actually started playing them. They're running out the rest of the series now on Saturdays.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, a full year later.
actually 6 months maybe.
Wasn't it? Didn't it come out late last year?
Came out this year, earlier this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was like a spring show, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. No, well, who knows? Maybe it'll get lucky. It'll find an audience, and maybe they just aired it the wrong time of year. I don't know.
Mm.
But I'm gonna go to on our next piece of news. For those of you who didn't get to see Starship Troopers Rift Tracks the last time, you have a second chance. September 12th, they are doing it again, and I'm assuming it's going to be a whole different riff this time because if they're doing it live, they're not going to want to repeat themselves.
What I liked about it though when we went to see it was that it was funded. It was helped, and funded by um, Neil Patrick Harris and Casper Van Dien. They helped, get that, the capital up for that.
As well as a massive Kickstarter campaign.
Yep.
I think what it is they had some leftover money from that campaign, and they're like, you know what? What the hell? Let's do it again. So, and I think IGN may be helping with that a little bit this time.
And also in October they'll be doing Night of the Living Dead after that.
I was just about to say, if you can't make it to that, you got the Halloween episode of their live show, and that's the Night of the Living Dead, and that will be October 24th. So I'll be home in time from North Dakota to see that.
Oh,
So we'll have to try and sneak in a video camera so you can see it. Unless you can convince Jimmy to drive 2.5, 3 hours to a movie theater that might be carrying it.
right. 2.5, 3 hours.
There's got to be a movie theater
That's
near you
you
guys
think
somewhere.
2.5, 3 hours.
There's got to be a movie theater somewhere near there. I'm hoping within 2 hours at least.
uh,
But yeah, I'm seriously considering going to it again. How about you?
eh, maybe.
Come on, are you saying you wouldn't want
I
to see
don't
it
have a
again?
lot of money. I really don't have a lot of money to spend, honestly. With the trip that we're going to be taking. I mean, heck, I just bought my ticket yesterday,
Yep.
and yeah, that cost me, let's see, $185. And the pain in the ass thing is they don't send you the ticket in the mail anymore. You know what they do? You have to print the ticket out. You have to print all the tickets out online.
Uh,
So that sucks.
uh,
Is that all for your story there?
yeah, that's pretty much it.
I got my next story.
I've just got something really, really quick.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick nap then.
Just in case people were wondering why Big Show was crying through most of the show last night,
Yeah, you saw that?
I caught a clip of it. There is evidently now. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just reading
Actually,
it
that
off
wasn't.
IGN.
I don't think that was last night. I think that was Friday Night SmackDown.
It may have been SmackDown then,
'Cause-
but regardless, the reason he was crying, and it seemed like he was crying for no reason. Turns out he was passing a kidney stone.
Uh,
This is what it says. I don't believe it. I'm just going with it because I think it's kind of funny.
okay, I know the real reason.
You go ahead.
Well, on the
Yes,
show,
we don't normally cover wrestling on here, but
Yeah.
it's pop culture, so we'll go with it.
on the show, he was forced to sit out there, watch all the matches, and he wasn't allowed to participate. He was being put in timeout, basically.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because he was passing the kidney stone, so that's why he was crying.
He was put in timeout.
Not only are you going to pass a
Okay.
kidney stone, you have to sit out there and watch. go, go ahead on to your next story. My mic dropped again, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Huh. Okay.
Uh, they have just confirmed they have confirmed a filming choice for where they're going to be filming Superman or Batman versus Superman. That's right. It's a Superman movie, but it's Batman gets top billing. They'll be filming it in Detroit. Why is that? Because it already looks like the ruins of Metropolis.
God damn it! You just beat me to that.
But this is
You could not.
actually
You could physically knock down buildings in Detroit, and I don't think anybody would notice at this point.
the good thing is though, because of lost jobs and stuff like that, that's going to bring in a lot of revenue into that city, and it needs it.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, it does. Especially with the car industry being the way it is now. But oddly enough, that does lead into another story, something you mentioned earlier that I do want to talk about real quick.
Okay.
Again, off of IGN, and again, dealing with Detroit. After 3 years and much publicity, the Kickstarter funded fan campaign to erect a statue of Robocop in Detroit is nearly complete. Mother Jones recounts the audacious storied journey of how the statue came to be, excuse me, and the political and corporate hurdles that cropped up along the way. From Major Bing's dismissal of the Twitter generated idea to MGM's copyright concerns. But now the statue, created by the Imagination Station, has been delivered to the Venice Bronze Works in Detroit for its finishing touches. And if you go to the IGM story, there is a picture of the RoboCop statue, which
It's big
I got to
too.
admit it's damned impressive.
I think it's
It
about 15 feet tall.
Yeah, and it looks better than the suit that's going to be in the new movie.
That's because
Um,
it looks like the actual RoboCop.
like I said, it's expected to be officially unveiled in August 2014. That is once those involved can finalize a location for the statue. Initial plans to place the statue in Tech Town's park were nixed by local officials. Yeah, it's silly, said Brandon Wally, director of development at the Imagination Station. But is there no place for 10 feet of silliness within 139 square miles of our expansive city? This is to the government of Detroit. Really, you've got no businesses right now. Basically, your city is dying. Let the few people that are still there have a little bit of fun.
The
Give
League of
give them
Shadows
give
is
them
really making.
something. Give them something that they can look at and say, "Hey, this is something we wanted and we got it," instead of being complete douchebags.
And in 20, 30 years, they'll take it down like they did the Rocky statue.
Probably. So it's only going to be there for a couple of decades. Don't worry about it. Uh,
Uh,
how about you? What's your next story?
kind of some sad news. Um,
More sad?
it's not. There was a film in 1975 called The Giant Spider Invasion. Now, in this, they had a giant spider, that was made just for the movie. Um, After it got put into storage, it was actually kept in a warehouse at the Lincoln County in Wisconsin. At some point in the last few weeks, the person that owned the spider discovered that it was stolen. He immediately reported it stolen, and they opened an investigation, making the theft a little weird, because they had to actually. This is a huge thing. They had to put it up on a flatbed to get it out of there. It was, right there with Dirty Harry's gun and an X-wing fighter. Were all these classic movie props. Now here comes the very sad part of that story. The people who stole it, weeks later, the skeletal framework for the spider was sold as scrap to Schultz Recycling, and oh, that just hurts me so bad.
And I genuinely like to think that the people at Schultz truly didn't know what it was. I'm assuming this guy managed to cut it into pieces or something before he recycled it. Because I'm pretty sure if you see a giant movie prop coming through the shape of a spider, that might stop you from buying it. I'd like to think. We're not sure, though. We can't get, there's no confirmation on that one way or the other. But,
Mm.
and you know me. You know how much I like my old B movies and everything. So
Those are
that
awesome.
really hurts me.
Old
You
B
know?
movies are the best.
I mean, come on. Look at David Hasselhoff in Star Crash.
Hell, look at David Hasselhoff. His freaking little posters outside Cumberland Farms are getting stolen.
Jesus Christ. It's,
And the guy here in Connecticut who got freaking practically killed trying to keep somebody from stealing a cardboard cutout of David Hasselhoff. Moron.
uh,
I'm sad that it's sad that he got hurt, but
yeah. Well,
but
I
that's stupid.
I have, for me personally, what is more sad news and
Oh, we're just a
rage-inducing
big old,
news at the same
we're
time.
really sad tonight, aren't we?
Well, when Michael Bay is involved, it tends to be both sad and rage-inducing at the same time. Um, we have confirmation on one piece of the new Transformers movie that I don't truly care about too much. He's got a new title for it. It's called Age of Extinction. Woohoo! I oh, it's not here anymore. It must have went down some. But there was somebody else who had a much better title for it, which I can't seem to find at the moment. I read it to you just a little while before we started recording, and it was
Mhm.
pretty damn funny. But anyway, that's not the part that is rage-inducing or sad or whatever. He can call it Age of whatever. I don't care. He's now ripping off Age of Ultron. So, but yeah, no, the part that pisses me off. Dave, would you like to tell them? Because I don't
What?
really feel like ranting at the moment.
What? Well, I don't know what you're talking
You're
about. I
full
really
of
don't.
fucking shit, little rat bastard. Well, they've already raped most of the robots in it. They've decided to go all the way and go ahead and rape some frigging dinosaurs while they're at it. They have finally, sadly, confirmed that the goddamn Dinobots are going to be ridden around by fucking Autobots.
I guess I knew where to get some tail.
So, although I I'm going to read these names that are supposed real Transformer or real Dinobots. This last one I truly have never heard of, but I want to read it in case you or anybody else has fucking heard of this one. You ready for this?
Okay.
Got Grimlock, Slag, Sludge, Snarl, Swoop, and Paddles. Yes, that face, that's the face I had the first time. Who the hell is Paddles?
The Loch Ness Monster?
I'm looking it up right now to see if I can find anything. Paddles the Transformer. Let's see if I can find an image. Um, well, no, that's a fan piece of art. Yeah, I see nothing about a paddles. I,
Uh,
I'm actually finding paddles, although evidently somebody had the same idea as you did and turned him into the Loch Ness Monster as a piece of artwork. And just in case you think I'm kidding, I'll send you the
Don't
picture.
worry. I'm looking it up right now.
This is horrible. I'm literally finding nothing but paddles for boats. By the way,
Actually, I'm type in. Go to Google and type in paddles Dinobot. I
try
actually
this
see a.
paddles Dinobot. Okay.
I see a decent one right here. It basically looks like a Loch Ness monster type. It's from Fall
Oh,
of
Fall of
Cybertron.
Cybertron. Yeah. So in other words, if you
It's a
never
good
played the
game.
game Fall of Cybertron, you have no idea what it is. And I've never played Fall of Cybertron, so I have
I
no idea.
have.
I wish I had, but yeah, no, I've never seen this thing before. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not including Paddles as one of the original Dinobots. Do you know why? He's not one of the
What?
original bloody Dinobots.
Oh, come on. They had the Dinobots in Transform. They actually had all of them in Transformers. So Fall of Cybertron. You actually got to play as Grimlock.
Yeah, I've heard that. Eventually, hopefully, I'll get to play the bloody game. But uh, so how about you? What other stories do you have?
Well, Dracula is ready to rise again. We're getting another vampire movie. God Almighty help us.
Yes,
Satan
I've
Almighty
been looking
help us.
forward to another Dracula movie.
It's going to be
Yay!
this should be Legendary's first film with Universal Studios since they've joined Universal Studios. Now they want Universal is trying to bring back their the whole thing with their classic monsters. We've seen them try already and kind of fail with the Wolfman because everybody saw that ending coming.
That's funny that you said kind of failed because I'm pretty sure it just failed.
I was trying to be nice.
Kind of like that help wanted sign we saw before.
I mean, and you know what? You can't top Bela Lugosi. This it's the eyes that have it.
I mean,
His he
come
had the
on.
crazy eyes like you wouldn't believe.
I mean, come on. Look at him in Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Watch him in White Zombie, the
That's
first
racist.
zombie movie.
That's racist. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I've never seen White Zombie.
We actually saw it at the Criterion a month or so ago.
Did you really?
Yep.
See, that's one I'd like to see. So I have to. I'm kind of gonna have to hunt that down.
Too bad I won't be here at the end of the month. They're showing the room, and I won't be here.
Yeah, we know you're gonna. That's another way of you getting a pussy out of it. It's okay. It's all right. Well, my name is Dave. I'm scared. He knows I'm not going to let this go until he actually shuts the hell up and watches the movie.
You can't make me. You have to tie me to a chair,
You
keep my
think
eyelids
you
open.
think I won't try to go the Clockwork Orange route? You really think that?
Yeah, I
I
do.
will. I will. Dude, I've made you guys watch goddamn Star Wars: The Holiday Special.
No, you made us watch the review of it and listen
No,
to it. We never will finish watching it at your house.
no, we'll finish it someday. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I've watched enough of it in reviews
We've
and
also gotten you to watch a certain animated Superman movie that will not be named here.
brain freeze.
Yes.
Not to mention a certain parody movie
Which one?
involving everybody's favorite superhero, Batman.
That one you've lost me on.
That's okay. I won't elaborate then.
A parody of
Uh,
Batman? Which one? No, I'm seriously lost.
the Triple X one.
Oh, why couldn't we talk about that one? That was funny.
Because I don't like actually talking to people about watching a porn with your friends, because people get the wrong idea.
Actually, you know what? We were actually looking at it so much that we just skipped the sex scenes because it's like
You're right.
this is an Adam West episode. Who cares about this shit? Get back to what
That
little
was
plot
funny.
there was.
It was so good. They even got the guy playing the Joker looked
He
Exactly
looked
like
like
Caesar
Franco.
now, right down to the creepy mustache
But
underneath the makeup.
yeah, but the awesome thing about it is the guy who did the costumes for that movie is the same guy who did the costumes for the original Adam West television series.
They had the
That
actual
is why they were
Batmobile
so dead on.
and the Batmobile, the actual
Yes.
Batmobile.
So yeah, no. If they ever made an R-rated version of that, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. Not spending $40 on it the other way, but you know.
That's what the
Uh,
internet was made for.
so do you have any other stories or?
Oh, let's get through the elephant in the room. James Spader cast as Ultron in Avengers 2.
So
But
the original Daniel is now going to be playing a giant robot.
voicing.
Yeah, same thing at this point. Actually, is he going to be voicing him, or is he going to be doing motion capture, or does it not say?
I think it's too fat now for motion capture.
You can easily fix that in motion capture.
The
Look at the gentleman
problem,
who play. Hold on, go back to Beowulf. Look at the guy who played Beowulf, and then look at what he looked like in the movie. Big difference. He was a very heavy man in real life,
well,
so you could
here's the
very
thing.
easily.
The theory behind Ultron in the new movie is,
He is not created by Ant Man.
well, not just that, it's Jarvis. If you watch, there's a deleted scene from Iron Man 3 where Jarvis talks about stripping off the imperfect, you know, and kind of like he snaps at Tony a little bit, like they're building up for. That's
Wow,
the theory
I
going
kind of
on.
hope not because I don't want them to build off of something that was a deleted scene. I hate when movies do that. That's like, oh well, this was explained where in the comic book.
That's it's kind of like the first Star Trek or
Yeah,
the
the
Star
first
Trek in
J.J. Abrams film.
2009. Where were the Romulans for 20 years?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were they were on Praxis.
yeah. Well, it's
They
like, well,
explained that in the
you
deleted
know
scene.
what red matter is. I do. Yeah, you read the comic, didn't you? No, I don't want required reading to have to enjoy a movie. I don't want to have to see scenes that were never used in a movie to enjoy a movie. You want to know what I want to be able to do with the movie?
Watch a
Sit
movie.
down and enjoy it as it is. God damn it, I hate when they do shit like that. But
Well, here's something that you'll be happy at because of the roast of James Franco this past Sunday.
yeah, that's right.
And This Is the End is going to be returning to theaters.
That's right. And I got to see if it's going to be anywhere near here because I do want to see it again. Um,
Now, the
oh,
only
it's
thing
already out.
but the only thing that pisses me off about this is why the fuck are they roasting James Franco?
Because he does a lot of comedies. He's known more for his comedy than he is for his dramatic roles.
No,
Granted,
well,
he won.
he's not. He's not anybody really yet. He hasn't grown
He
to have that.
he
The
won
thing
an
with,
Academy Award.
seriously,
He's
because
won
most of the
an
time people
Academy
who get
Award.
roasted have actually had a lengthy career.
What about Jennifer Lawrence? She's been around for about 2.5 years, maybe. She's won an Academy Award as well. You're telling me that neither one of them have earned it?
Being roasted,
Franco's
no.
been around for a long time. Franco,
Being roasted, no. If you go back and you watch the original, like Dean Martin roast,
how long do you think Franco's been around? Honestly,
not long enough.
do you remember the show Freaks and Geeks
Hmm.
back in the mid '90s?
Yeah,
That's where he got to start.
and
He's closing in on a 20-year career.
20 years. Okay, and
Seriously, 20 years isn't long enough to be able to win an award. What about these kids that do spectacular jobs that win Academy Awards, or they just don't count? They're just flukes.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about.
I am. That's part of
I'm
it.
okay. Let me put it
Those
this
kids
way.
definitely
Would you
haven't had a
take?
long career.
Let me put it this way. Would you take Daniel Bryant from wrestling and put him in the Wrestling Hall of Fame
If I knew who
right
Daniel
now?
Bryant was, I might be able to answer that.
He's been around for in WWE for about maybe 2 years.
Big difference between wrestling and actual acting.
I'm talking. I'm
That
saying,
would be
would you
like
take
saying let's say taking Hulk Hogan and giving him an Academy Award.
now Hulk
Let's
Hogan? You know, I would gladly go to a roast for that. He's got a lot of
But we're
experience
not
under his
talking about
belt.
the
He's done
roast
a
at
lot
this
of
point.
stupid stuff, to make fun of.
That yeah, but it was his friends that did the roast in this case. Where a lot of the other roasts are people like what's her name? That drunk Courtney Love who made what, one movie and is more famous because she was married to Kurt Cobain. Franco has got a really good career and has made a lot of really good movies. He's getting roasted now. Back when Dean Martin was doing the roasts, they had actors and actresses on there that had only been around for 20, 25 years
We
that
just
they
have a difference.
roasted.
Well, we have a difference of opinion.
Yes, and this is what the one person who watches in for. To hear us argue.
James Franco might be. I've seen him act. He's a good actor, but I think the roast is you have to be seasoned more.
I don't think so. But then again, you know what? I haven't paid attention to the roasts on Comedy Central for the last few years because there's been one thing really, really lacking from them.
Comedy.
Comedy. Yeah. So if they actually tried something like being funny, I'd watch them. They're
The
not,
the only thing
so I
that
don't give a
pisses me
damn.
off about the most recent roast is they don't make they barely make fun of the person they're roasting. They
Yeah,
usually make fun of the people that are there.
exactly. So,
Last good one I saw was William Shatner. Oh wait, and Hasselhoff. Hasselhoff was good too.
Hasselhoff was all right, but that's where it was definitely starting to go downhill. But yeah. If you don't have any more news, I want to go over the two award ceremonies that happened recently.
Well, you can do that.
So we'll start with the Hugo Awards, if you can bring that up. Now, if Dave's screen pauses, it's because he's on his tablet. So while
No,
he's
I'm on my.
oh, you do have your
I
computer
have
back
my
up and running.
computer here.
Oh, okay. Very cool then.
Mm.
Um, we'll start with the Hugo Awards.
Ooh, wow! I just found some awesome news. Surprising news. Kick-Ass 3 will end the film franchise, which means it will be making a third based on
Cool.
the new. That's awesome.
Very
Even though
cool.
it got bad numbers.
Well, it didn't get bad numbers. It's a low budget film, and it's quickly making its budget back. So, again, it's not a blow 'em out of the park film, but you know what? Neither was the first one. Just hopefully they will get to the third film before everybody's on walkers. Am I wrong?
I don't get what you're trying to say. Actually,
In
you
other
know,
words, they almost waited too long in between the first two movies.
not really, not too bad.
Chloe was 9 when she filmed the first one. She was 15 when they filmed the second one.
Okay.
In other words, you might want to do it in the next couple of years while she's still actually, a kid.
All right. Let's look up these Hugo Award things. Dramatic pause. What?
Da, da, dun. Oh,
this is your meat, man.
I was just waiting until you got to the
I already had
website.
it punched up. I
Oh,
had it
okay.
punched up before we started the show.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. So what we're going to cover is the 2013 Hugo Awards. Ver You got to turn your thing down. I'm hearing myself really really well right now.
What, you don't like listening to yourself?
I don't like hearing my own echo back in my ears now. Especially when it's a long delay. There you go. That's better. Okay. Um, just really quickly, if it will let me get into the page. The Hugo Awards have been presented annually since 1955. They're science fiction's most prestigious awards. The Hugo Awards are voted on by members of the World Science Fiction Convention at Worldcon, which is also responsible for administering them. So this is, like I said, this is the big award for science fiction authors, movies, uh, radio, podcasts, I believe now. Anything science fiction, family, or fantasy oriented wants to win one of these. It's basically the science fiction version of the Academy Awards. So, and what me and Dave are going to do is we're going to go back and forth and just read the winners.
We are. Okay.
Yes. For the 2013 Hugo Award winners, um, I am going to start. We're going to start with best novel and just work our way down. It's a quick list. We'll be through it in a couple minutes. All right.
All right.
So for best novel, the winner is Red Shirts, a novel with three codas by John Scalzi.
The
Um,
Sword of Death on Star Trek.
yeah,
No, I'm just
well,
kidding.
you know what? The theme song we used to have for Taking on Trek, that theme song was written specifically to go with that novel. So it's a comedy novel. You would love it. I've read part of it. It's spoofing all things Star Trek and the Federation, and it is about why in the hell are the red shirts keep putting out there when they know they're going to be getting killed. It's like what the hell, you know? And you go ahead and take the next one,
Best novel, novella,
novella.
whatever, novella. I'm tired. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I can barely read at the moment. The Emperor's Soul by Brandon Sanderson.
And the winner for best novelette is The Girl Thing Who Went Out for Sushi by Pat Cardigan.
Now you're making me hungry. Best short story, Mono Noir by Ken Liu.
Or actually, and I'm not making fun of you, it's pronounced Mono no Aware by Ken Liu. And it translates to The Future is Japanese.
I think
And
I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. Sorry.
And that's okay. And the previous winner, best novelette, the girl thing who went out for sushi. The alternate title for that is Edge of Infinity. So anyway, best related work, Writing Excuses Season 7. Brandon Sanderson, Dan Wells, Mary Robinet. I apologize if I Robinet Kowal. I apologize if I murdered your name. Howard Taylor and Jordan Sanderson.
Best graphic story is Saga, Volume 1. Written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples from
And
Image Comics.
and I've looked at that. It's the little bit I've looked at is actually pretty interesting. Best dramatic presentation, long form. The Avengers, screenplay and directed by Joss Whedon, Marvel Studios, Disney, Paramount.
I can agree with that. Best dramatic representation short form is Game of Thrones, Blackwater, written by George R. R. Martin, directed by Neil Marshall.
And that's for HBO. Best editor short form, Stanley Schmidt.
Best editor long form, Patrick Nelson Hayden. Hayden. Sorry.
That's all right. Best professional artist, John Picasso, Picacio.
Picacho.
Picacho. We'll go with that, Picacho. And again, I apologize if we both just murdered your name.
Uh, Best semi-prozine.
Semi-prozine.
That's what I said. Dearth.
Sounds like a medication you would take. Did you take your semi-prozine today? No.
Clark's World, edited by Neil Clark, Jason Hetler, Sean Wallace, and Kate Baker.
Best fanzine, SF Signal, edited by John Nadardo, J.P. France, and Patrick Hester.
Best fan cast, SF Squeecast.
Yes.
Elizabeth Bear, Paul Corin, Shannon McGurry, Lynn M. Thomas, Catherine M. Valentin. Presented by David McCone.
No. Those are the presenters.
Those are the Oh,
those
sorry.
Those are the hosts. That's okay.
The technical producer is David McCone Chase.
Now, best fan writer, Tansy Rayner Roberts.
Best fan artist, Galen Dara.
And the John W. Campbell Award for Best New Writer, Mur Lafferty. Okay, Mur Lafferty. I don't know. Mur Lafferty is not a new writer. Maybe it's the first time they've recognized him, but I've been listening and reading to his stuff since the early 2000s.
Maybe it's just the first time he won an award.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's not the actual winner. I don't know. I'll have to look into that real quick. But for the moment, we'll say that it's Mur Lafferty. And either way, congratulations. But we're going to jump from that to the Parcec Awards. The Parcec Awards cover all of the podcasts that are out there. Whether it be news, it can be audio drama, it can be video, well, it could be the news show like we do. We're not going to cover everything tonight. We're just going to cover some of the bigger ones. Or some of the bigger ones that we would probably enjoy. So we're going to start with Best Speculative Fiction. Best Speculative Fiction Story, Small Cast, Short Form. And I apologize. The way this thing is set up, it's set up a little funky. So you'll have to forgive us.
I am not reading all this.
I'll take care of this, and you comment if there's anything on here that you recognize. All right. I'm going to go through the finalists really quickly first, since we do have them. As I said, Best Speculative Fiction, Small Cast, Short Form. Friends. Memes by Paul Ellard Cooley from Shadow Productions. Final Girl Theory by A.C. Wise from Pseudopod. Fires in the Snow by Starla Hutchin from the Gearheart. Royal Off-World Navy by Alexia Chipman from Imagination Lane. And Silence, a Fable by Edgar Allan Poe, directed by Jeffrey Garner from Our Fair City. The one that we didn't read is the winner, which would be Now Sidonia by Rick Kennett from the Cast of Wonders. See, it's not that hard to read it, Dave. See how well I did? You can handle one of these, I promise.
Ah,
I'm going to give you Best Speculative Fiction Story, Large Cast.
joy. The Beauty of Our Weapons by M. Dershowelm. Uh,
Oh,
Garaga's
oh, you're doing
Children.
novella form. Okay. He's reading from Best Speculative Fiction Story, Small Cast Novella form.
Oh, I
I'm
went too
sorry.
far down.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You actually did one further up.
Actually, no, not the way I'm looking at it. The second one that was novella form was next after the one you just did.
Yep. Well, you want to go through them all because there's not that many here. I figured we would.
I'm just gonna finish what I started.
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Gargella's Children Scrolls by Paul Ellard Cooley. Stolen Hearts, the invention, innovate.
The Invitation.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading.
That's all right. A Gallifreyan love story.
Gee, wonder what that's about. It's by Edward Winterrose. Tainted Rose by Mark Kilfoyle. From Every Photo Tells, and the winner was The Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft. A Cthulhu book, right?
It might be. And now what we're going to do is we're going to jump down a little bit, and we're going to do two of the ones that I was looking forward to. Best speculative fiction audio drama. I'm going to be doing the short form, and when I'm done with these, Dave will take best speculative fiction audio drama long form. Okay.
Okay.
The quick description is short audio presentations containing elements of either science fiction, fantasy, or horror, in which storytelling is affected through the dialogue of its characters and sound effects slash scenery presenting action and scene as its primary mechanism. And the one he'll be reading is the same thing except it's a long form version.
I'm
Again, we'll read the finalists and then the winner will be the last one read. So, Kig's Quest, a Skyrim adventure by Rich Matheson. Arian's World by Mike Morez and Arian. Ancient Evil by Oriole Stage Studios, dialed in. And they shortened it. The Pendant Shakespeare by Pendant Productions. I'm a fan of Pendant Productions.
with Les
Yeah,
Jefferson Starship.
yeah, really. That's too bad. Um, yeah, their full name is a lot longer than that. But anyway, the winner this year though is The Minister of Chance by Radio Static, and it is now your turn, sir.
Alrighty then, fine. Uh, there we go. That's speculative fiction story, small cast, long form.
Best
Uh,
fiction audio drama long form. You're still up at the top. Swing down a little bit.
Alright.
What you want to be looking at is
I
best.
see it.
Remember,
Don't interrupt.
well, you keep reading the wrong ones. That's why I read the one you'd be reading so you could find it.
I'm tired, leave me alone.
Eh.
Finalists, We Are Alive by Casey Wayland. House Bruiser by Joel Metzger. The Leviathan Chronicles by Christoph Laputka.
Actually, that's exactly it, Laputka.
The Guild of the Cowrie Catchers, Book 4 Out of the Ashes by Abigail Hilton. And the winner is Star Trek Outpost by Tony Raymond and Daniel McLinash. Okay.
McIntosh.
There's
Actually,
a
it's a really good series. They're just about to hit episode 50. It's extremely well done. The next one I'm going to look at is best speculative fiction video story. Two finalists and a winner. The finalists were Dr. Talon's Letter to the Editor by David D. Levine and The Silent City by Rubidum Wu. I apologize if I'm murdering names here. I'm not trying to. And the winner is I Have Your Heart by Molly Crabapple. Now you're just deliberately doing this. Kim Bokebinder and Jim Bate. Wow. Okay, and Dave will be taking Best Speculative Fiction Magazine or Anthology Podcast.
finalists are Toasted Cake by Tina Connolly, The Double Cast by Norm Sherman, The No Sleep Podcast by David Cummings, and Everyday Photo Tells by
Every Photo Tells.
Okay. By Katrina and Mick Bordet. And the winner was Tales from the Archives, Volume 2 by T. Morris and Pip Ballantine.
Oh, that's T. Morris and Pip Ballantine, which I now have to look that up because, again, these are two that they're considered. They're actually considered the kind of the godparents of podcasting. They've been around since the very, very beginning. Now, best new speculative fiction podcaster / team. Now, this person or team is new to podcasting in the past Parcec eligibility year, becoming a significant voice that has contributed to the community as a whole. Sadly, that is not us. So the
Contribute to the community. You're so crazy.
Yeah. So the finalists are Doctor Who Variety by Deborah Stanish, Erica Ensign, Katrina Griffiths, L.M. Miles, Lynn M. Thomas, and Tansy Rayner Roberts. Knights at the Round Table by Ash Farbrother. The Reader / Writer Podcast by Ben Delano / Mary Ellen Warren. And Blurry Photos by David Flora. And the winner was The No Sleep Podcast by David Cummings. And Dave is going to take Best Speculative Fiction Fan or News Podcast. Specific.
Yay. Let's see.
Do you want to read the little introduction at the top? You want me to do it?
I thought it was pretty self-explanatory, but fine.
Hey.
News and commentary podcast created by and for the fans of giving type of literary or entertainment work to series of works that have elements of speculative fiction. The podcast focused on H.P. Lovecraft, Buffy, and the world of time. Good enough?
Yes,
Happy?
sir. Yes.
There we go. The finalists were Doctor Who Radio Free Scarrow by Warren Fay, Stephen Kapinski, and Chris Burgess. 2-Minute Time Lord by Chip Sudderth. Or Sudderth. There we go.
Sudderth? Yeah, Chip Sudderth.
Commentary Trek Stars by Mike Schneider and Max Eagle. Doctor Who Variety by Deborah Stanish. God, a lot of names here. Erica Ensign, Katrina Griffiths, L.M. Miles, Lynn M. Thomas, and Tansy Rayner Roberts. And the winner was Rebel Force Radio by Jimmy Mack and Jason Swank.
And now I'll be taking best Okay, yeah, it is working. I apologize. I thought my mic cut out for a second. Um, I'll be taking Best Speculative Fiction, Fan or News Podcast General. News and commentary podcast created by and for the fans of speculative fiction, e.g., anime, gaming, general, and specific fiction. We've got Geek Radio Daily by Geek Radio Daily. The Incomparable by Jason Snell. The Ratchet Retrocast by John Strangeway, CD Sky, Patrick Freeman, and Q. Had no idea who was into podcasting. And Pod Culture, Equal Opportunity Geekness by Brad, Glenn, Christina, and Adam. And the winner is Knights at the Round Table by Ash Farbrother, excuse me. And we're gonna give Dave an easier one here. We're gonna jump down to Best Speculative Fiction Comedy / Parody Podcast.
Okay.
Whether they make fun of bad movies or poke fun at our own random geekdom, these podcasts keep us laughing.
The file I saw. My Script is Mud by Burke Duncan. The chapter titles were so good by Peter, Regular Tom, and Mr. Tom. What happened to Proper Dave? Dragon Con TV by Brian Richardson. And Comedy Forecast by Clinton. And the winner was Blastro Podcast by Mark Soloff.
And the last one we're going to look at, now mind you, we're not going through all of these. We're going through some of them.
There's only one left.
Yeah, well, there's a few that we skipped over, but we're going by the ones that we're kind of worried about. At some point, if you go to the Parcec Winners website, you will get everything. But the last one I'm looking at is the Best Speculative Fiction Music Podcast. Podcasts discussing and sampling music about, set in, inspired by, or spoofing speculative fiction, known as filk, rock, red fair, rap, techno, etc. The finalists are Radio Free Hipster by Z, and Pros and Cons by Jonah Knight and Mikey Mason. And the winner is The Funny Music Project by Devo Spice.
Excuse me.
Certainly, it's been kind of a long night. It's almost 12:30, so...
I personally blame you.
No, I blame you because you made me wait till 11 o'clock to come back.
No, you can blame my dad for that.
How about we both blame your dad for that?
All right.
Okay, that works. So, anyway, that's pretty much it for the show this week. What have you got to say for yourself?
I made a doo-doo in my pants.
That would explain the smell. All right, would you like to tell everybody where they can reach us?
Oh, I've always got to do this, don't I?
Yeah, this is your favorite part.
All right. To all you one people who are watching us on YouTube...
Hi, one people. Try and make it two peoples. Or better yet, keep my brother awake and laugh really hard while he's trying to sleep. That's even funnier.
We are on Wobbly Pod. You know, that's our channel on YouTube. You can send us emails at wobblypod@yahoo.com or wobblypod@gmail.com.
We've got a .com.
Or leave us messages on our Facebook.
Yes,
you know, Wobbly Pod. Just remember,
just Wobbly Pod. Just look for something called Wobbly Pod. You'll find us eventually. Not the one with the big W. So, all right, and
say about a big W.
Yeah, somebody out there decided that they need Wobbly Pod with a big W now. So they're
you say big W, I think Mad World.
We'll have to do a riff for that at some point.
That's an awesome movie.
So, all right, and on that note, it's time to say goodnight. I'm Joe,
And I'm Dave.
and everybody have a good evening. Take care.